is back. Prepare for the invasion when Fox Video launches an unprecedented previously viewed promotion. Make sure to order extra copies and buy deep. Fans who purchase previously viewed copies of Alien 3 will be getting more than just the movie. Through the mail, they'll also receive this free Alien 3 cap, a must-have for all sci-fi fans, plus a brand new Alien 3 cassette sleeve. There will be no escaping this unique offer due to wall-to-wall post-street date TV advertising, promoting both rentals and the previously viewed offer. Plus, the Alien 3 video itself features a brief teaser at the head of the film and an exciting trailer at the end of the film, emphasizing the availability of previously viewed Alien 3 copies and detailing how to receive the free cap and sleeve by mail. Preferred retailers should look for their Alien 3 merchandising kits, featuring all the right elements needed to blow previously viewed cassettes out the door. From a unique counter display to shelf talkers and static cling banners.
Hey everyone, welcome. What is going on today? What is happening? Happy Monday. It's Versus on a Monday. Today, Alien Earth and much, much more. Nobody 2 hit theaters. Did nobody go to see it? I don't know. I don't know what the box office is, but Alan has it. Let's talk movies. Let's talk Alien. Let's talk all things with our all-star panel lineup. Let's get started. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's go. Come on. Hey everyone, how's it going? I think RMB may be here later. Dante as well. They're taking their time, but it's August at the box office.
Yoo-hoo!
Which is why we're talking TV today. A lot of TV talk because the August box. Hey, there are some. I think there are going to be some good films here and there, but it will be a slog until I think Tron Ares. I think, pretty sure.
Nice.
Yes.
I don't know. I saw a big film over the weekend.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes, I think I know what big film you're talking about. Alan, was that Doing It?
I saw Doing It, and I can't talk about it for a full month.
Oh, my God. We will review Doing It, the new Lily Singh movie, her comedy. I saw Derek is excited about that one. I don't know.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
not. Maybe not. But say hi to everybody here. Who's in the chat? I don't see anything in the chat, but I will say this. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. We have our new back to school collection. We'd have to refresh the page. There is a back to school collection. That's right. Based on the logos of American Pie, a movie that could never be made today, and Clueless. I love our new designs. Look at that. Check out the back to school collection with shirts, t-shirts, a tote. Is that a tote? Look at that.
Yes.
Oh, and it's clear, so you can go through airport security. How thoughtful.
That is awesome.
By the way, you can make American Pie again because I just saw Doing It.
Oh, no. Oh, I can't wait for that. So go to shop.filmthreat.com. That's great. And we're there you go. So let's get into it. Wait, we have someone here.
Oh, look at this. Axel's Abode for a year. Remember, for 12 months, 43% drop. Very good for horror. F1 only dropped 9%.
That's great. So weapons. So let's get into it. Box office. Alan,
Yeah.
what do we got here if you'd share it?
I don't know what button to press here. Here we go. I got it.
Yeah, StreamYard changed all their controls. We're all confused.
There used to be words. Now there's pictures. Yeah. So, let's round out the top 10 here. Weapons at number 1, going strong at 24.5 million. Freakier Friday holds its position as number 2 with 14 million. Nobody 2 comes in at 9.2 million. Fantastic Four holding strong with only a 43% drop this time.
Now,
at 9
here's
million.
the thing about Fantastic Four. It'll probably make 400 million.
Yes.
Oh.
A Fantastic Four, 100 million. Bad Guys, the perennial cartoon, at 5. Superman's there, going to VOD soon. Naked Gun at 7. Jurassic World Rebirth. F1 holding strong at 8 weeks in the top 10. And then finally War 2, a movie none of us saw, comes in at number 10.
An Indian film. A couple things about this box office. I want to hear what you guys say. That is a small drop off for Weapons. That's like Sinners holding strong. So I hope you all saw Weapons, worthwhile film.
And it opened in an extra 248 theaters as well.
Yeah, and Nobody 2 not doing great in its debut at under 10 million, 9.2. And then Fantastic Four, of course, just disappointing there. It should be noted, The Bad Guys 2 is already on VOD.
Is it really?
Yes, already on VOD. Superman is on VOD.
Yeah.
And I checked, Fantastic Four leaves theaters this week. It will leave theaters, like, see it before Thursday. It's gone.
Yeah.
FF and Superman leave theaters this week. What do the theaters have?
We should also note that Disney is going to hold to its 90-day theatrical window. So you won't see Fantastic Four for the next 2 months.
Well, a lot of people didn't see it. To the panel, everyone, what are your thoughts on this crazy box office and this? I would call it an August bloodbath.
Yeah, this is the first weekend that didn't hit 100 million at least in the box office since I think May.
Yeah.
So we have reached the end of the summer. It's back to school, and everybody's in school. Everybody's putting their money to other things, not movies any longer. So yeah, I think this is what we're going to see from now and probably until the end of the year. It's just a diminishing box office every week.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our choices here, man. I mean, there's better stuff on streaming right now.
I will say I didn't go see any of the new movies that came out, but I did go and see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hey, me too. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, that's
Boy, does that
what I
hold up.
chose to go and watch in the theater for the very first time, and I had a great time.
Were there kids in your theater?
I've never even heard of Nobody, to go see Nobody 2. I had no idea that Bob Odenkirk even, made an action movie like that. So I was unaware that this movie was even a thing. So I'm not surprised that, it came in under 10 million. Freakier Friday, I'm honest. I think they're banking on millennial nostalgia for that movie. I wouldn't mind going and seeing it, but to be quite honest, because I loved Lindsay Lohan movies growing up, but to be honest, I think I'll just wait for it to be on streaming. But a lot of people are talking about Jamie Lee Curtis's boobs, though.
Yeah,
well, I don't get that controversy. So
she's always had those nice knockers.
We've already seen them,
people.
We saw them 20 years ago. So
Yeah, that's nothing new.
40 years
The
ago.
new ones, they don't
Go
know
back
about
and watch True Lies. True Lies, man.
When I went to go see Freakier Friday, there were a lot of single men that weren't lispy, and I was like, yeah, because we all grew up with A Fish Called Wanda and Trading Places and True Lies.
Halloween.
Yeah. Sure. Nobody. That was a streaming movie, and even though I think it was good, it surprises me that they tried to bank on a theatrical release for the second one, and the trailers didn't really do it justice. It was much better than the trailers made it out.
But why is everybody glazing over 70-year-old boobs? Like that's what I don't get.
That's how
They're
desperate
mommy
we are.
milkers.
I mean, they're mommy milkers, but they're grandmommy milkers, right? Like these are old boobs.
Don't
man.
discriminate
Like,
against booba. All right,
No.
old ones. They all need love.
I'm
She's
just
a legit
saying.
gilf.
I just think it's so funny.
Well, I think
I guess I'm not a gilf guy.
It's a whole new generation finding out and discovering Jamie Lee Curtis boobs.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the big news here is it looks like there is a market cap for superhero movies. the market cap is around 500 million. It was $1 billion. You could put out any superhero movie. The market cap has not recovered from, other than Deadpool and Wolverine and No Way Home, Spider-Man. The market cap for superhero films is between 400 and 500 million. I don't know how that affects things going forward. They're committed to Doomsday, which will probably cost what the market cap is. Any final analysis here? Like, what do we like? I think are we seeing the death of the superhero genre?
I think that's perspective, right? Because I think a Spider-Man movie, a Batman movie, those will do over $500-600 million, right? Those will hit about $1 billion. Something like a Fantastic Four, or I don't want to say niche, but just not as big as like the Big Four or the Big Five. They're not going to do well anymore. They're just not. There's no more goodwill for that. But the main three will probably always do well, right?
Spider-Man's going to be a good barometer.
I think Spider-Man, Batman, Superman will probably do mostly well, and then team up movies, if you have some sort of an Avengers style movie where you're combining characters together, those will do well. But I think they have to really start budgeting these things appropriately. Bringing these budgets down to $100 million would be smart on all of these studios' behalf, because nobody's coming any longer. You're going to get the hardcore comic fans, you're going to get all of us, but you're not going to see the normies show up. The normies got their fill during the first 3 phases of the MCU. And then they'll show up for a team up movies and they'll do that, but that's it. I don't think they're coming back. I think they're moving on to other things.
I don't necessarily think it's like a death of the superhero genre, as much as it is consumers just being conscious about what they're picking and choosing to watch at the theater. And with Marvel having so many duds, with DC being on a downward trend before rebooting the entire universe, people are kind of waiting. They're really waiting on movie reviewers and word of mouth to go and choose whether or not to spend their money watching this film. And also streaming, they would rather wait for it to be on streaming, wait a few months for it to be on streaming and watch it comfortably in their house than take some time out and go to the theater. I think a lot of people have just become homebodies and would prefer doing it that way.
Hey, look, Superman didn't help, right? 35 days goes into VOD in 35 days. That didn't help. That's not helping the box office. And if they're going to keep doing this, a lot of folks are just going to say, hey, I can wait 35 days. That's nothing. Sorry, I can do that on my head.
His hands were tied, DA. He wanted people to be able to see it before Peacemaker comes out.
Let's defend
and nobody believes that lie, James Gunn. I'm sorry, man. Nobody believes that nonsense.
Yeah.
He's like this dude's the head of a studio. You really expect us to believe that the head of the studio, oh, well, I didn't realize that Peacemaker was coming out next month. Like, what? You're the head of the studio. Come on, bro.
That was
the other angle on that is diminishing returns. I mean, if Superman makes $5 million in the theaters, it's going to make $4 million next week. It's just gonna, at what point do you just go ahead and pull it?
It was done. The Batman hit what they're barely approaching in 18 days. They're 38 days in. They still not hit 600 million, by the way. They're at 594. So yeah, they knew it was done. Might as well release it, and then he can say, "Sorry, guys. I know it was doing so great. We had to, and look how nice I am that I did it. So now people can watch it before Peacemaker, the direct sequel to the movie, but it's not for kids. So don't you watch it, kids."
I guess my concern is, well, one, with Gunn's universe, are we going to see the plug get pulled on that? I mean, seriously, he supposedly, I think I think that decision was made for him. And he learned and had to backtrack some excuse like he had something to do with it. So a little disappointing to hear him. He's normally, I think, very honest, or at least as honest as he can be. And it was a little disappointing, but that I mean, it's real. Unless it's Batman or Spider-Man or legacy characters like Wolverine and Deadpool, it's not gonna do over 500. It's just
the
not.
thing is, though, to say that Gunn is out, I mean, the problem is that Warner Brothers is doing the best doing the best this year so far, theatrically speaking, revenue speaking. They've got.
Does.
I think they what they say 6 straight films with over 50 million opening weekend. Their stock prices doubled since the beginning of the year. So Warner Brothers is in a great position, which gives now James Gunn some latitude to learn from his mistakes and improve. Because I don't think he's on the chopping block. Even,
but is that what they got?
No, I didn't imply that. I'm saying, could they? I mean, one thing they could do is like, look, you can make these movies max budget 150. That's all you get.
Sure,
that's all you get. Max budget. Make a movie for that amount of money. That's when I think you'll see AI in terms of effects being used.
Wasn't this the point of John Campia's video that like Superman didn't need to break even, admitting it didn't break even because
from
like
a corporate perspective? Yeah,
no, that's what I'm going with. I'm not trying to like, so Snyder's made money now, but they did not get the response that they wanted. This is getting the response they wanted, but it's not making the money the way it did. But to them, it's worth it.
But yeah, but within a family of films that came out in 2025, Superman did fine.
Well, I think there are legacy characters that will always do well. Legacy characters will always do well, like your Batman, which is, in terms of licensing, Spider-Man and Batman are at the top. Spider-Man is way ahead. So let's talk about who the next Spider-Man could be. There are rumors that Tom Holland has wanted to retire the character. I'm not sure if you saw this, but Variety spoke to a young actress who said maybe she could be the next Spider-Man. Let's take a look.
Spider-Man.
Okay, make that pitch right now. Tom Holland, you're out, you're in.
Tom Holland did a great job though. so I don't know. Maybe they do need to make a new one for me.
I could see it. Come on, slinging those webs.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that your favorite superhero?
You know what? Spider-Man was the one with Andrew Garfield. Are there several with him? One of them with him was the first time I'd ever watched a Marvel film, and that was like 3 months ago was the first time that I'd ever seen a Marvel film, and it was Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
And
incredible. I loved it. Or I could be Spider-Man.
So there you go. What do we think of?
Well, if she gets the part, it will definitely be the gayest Spider-Man we've ever had.
Sorry, if they
Mark Malkin never misses getting a viral clip.
Always controversial,
and he gets the views.
Yeah,
I mean, Spider-Gwen, that's actually a possibility.
Yeah, but it's still that even that choice would piss off a lot of people. Spider, look, I'm just gonna say it. Spider-Gwen has to be attractive, man. Let's not spare words here, okay? She can't be a walking potato, all right? Like, no offense, but she has to be attractive.
Okay, all right. This is not sparking conversation. People are holding back
because no one takes it serious. There's no.
I do not take Bella Ramsey.
I feel my energy dying when I think of Bella Ramsey and Mark. Is this the gayest, most trans Spider-Man ever? Please no.
Disney wouldn't be that stupid.
Yes, they would.
Look, she didn't even seem to know how many Spider-Man movies there were.
Wait. This is a Sony property, man. So Sony would have to make that call. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen what Sony does. You know, we got Madam Web and Craven out of Sony, so you never know what they might have cooked up in their heads.
Madam
Bella
Web
Ramsey just saw Pedro
How dare
Pascal
you,
in
sir.
Fantastic Four, and she's like, "Come on, Pedro, use your pull. Get me in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I want to be Spider-Man."
Oh,
well, let's see. As Fantastic Four continues to bomb at the theater, there are a lot of theories: superhero fatigue, Pedro Pascal fatigue, male Silver Surfer. And I thought that Julia Garner, who's also in Weapons, I thought she did a fine job. I don't think you heard many complaints about her in the role. I think as the character, I think a male Silver Surfer would have been fine. Don't bother changing it. But I don't think she's the reason.
But then Johnny would have been gay because the whole point is a hot space naked chick, and that's what makes him want to talk. And then later on, he gets obsessed with solving her language and all that. And if you switched it, it would have been the gayest Marvel Fantastic Four ever.
Well, to be fair, in the original story, it was actually Alicia Masters, Ben Grimm's blind girlfriend, who has a connection with the Silver Surfer, which he finds his humanity in that. But that's the original comics from a long time ago.
Oh.
But let's take a look at what the male Silver Surfer could have been when the Silver Surfer shows up at a Walmart.
Walmart.
Oh my gosh.
Planet has been marked for death. The world will be consumed by
Wow. Well, let's take such balls.
and there is nothing you can do to stop him. For he is a universal force, as essential as the stars.
Oh, nobody
Hold your
cares.
loved ones close and speak the words you're so afraid to speak.
Nobody's paying attention to it.
Use this time to rejoice.
He got the costume right.
And celebrate.
And then right after the video, he got robbed.
For your time here is short.
Oh my God.
We can see he doesn't have anything in his pockets.
His beginning.
Look, there's one
I
kid.
herald your end. I herald Galactus.
I guarantee
I need to have
you.
scenes of me flying now. Galactus, is it safe to go this way? The end is coming. The end is near. I herald his beginning. I herald your ends. I herald Galactus.
Some balls.
The Fantastic Four will not be here to save you.
Based on
They
that
are
suit, he
too
doesn't have any.
selfish. Reed Richards and Sue Storm.
No
All
one
they care
cares.
about is their child.
Look at what Walmart's have
How does
gotten.
it feel
Nobody
to have
cares.
your world savior
Nobody cares.
be the one to essentially
wouldn't-
destroy
how do you
it
wear
because all
A suit that
he
skin
cares
tight,
about
dude.
is his offspring. He never cared about you. Galactus, I'm going too fast. I herald
There
your
we
end.
go.
There we go.
I herald
Here comes security.
Oh no.
Galactus. The Fantastic Four will not save you.
Push him
I
out.
will go and warn the other planets of Galactus. Which way is the exit?
This way.
I cannot see because Galactus has blinded me. Is the exit this way? Galactus took away my sight, so I am essentially blind. I am being kicked out of this planet that is doomed. There is nothing you can do, civilians. The end is near. The destruction of everything you love and know is coming. I am warning you of Galactus.
I
You
hope
should
he
be
assaults him.
thankful.
Get the store, man. Get out the store, man.
Rejoice and celebrate because all your times are short.
So I guess
That's
the
awesome.
Walmart security defeated Galactus.
I've seen
guarantee-
Stranger Things at Walmart.
I guarantee you that's not the weirdest thing that happened out of Walmart.
I was
know.
going to say,
Not even a top 10, bro.
right,
Why there's so
so
many
weird
days?
things happen at a Walmart that's the least weird. That's
And the
kinda
crowd
crazy.
response
that was
was
awesome.
accurate and authentic too.
For sure.
To
I
the
get
film.
nobody was paying attention to him. Like I would have.
There was a little kid that was actually watching. I saw this little kid was turning around like, what is he talking about?
Well,
Oh, that's
let-
wild.
Galactus. Galactus.
we have a lot of super chats. We'll get to those.
Some
But
of the better promotion for that movie, by the way.
that was good.
They should have
Yeah,
had
no,
him
I
out
don't-
there on the trail ahead of the movie.
There was another guy that did it going through a mall, and he actually had good projection, and he sounded good. That dude needed to get tackled. That was
That was good. Hey, as Disney Marvel kind of winds down the vast number of projects they're doing, Marvel is abandoning Georgia, shooting in Georgia. This is an article from the Wall Street Journal. I believe we have notes for this. Let's take a look at this story. Disney's Marvel, that's their wording, abandons Georgia, taking livelihoods with it. Tax incentives lured studios to build Hollywood of the South.
Okay.
Now they're going overseas for cheaper labor costs. Wall Street Journal.
Here we go. Jane Gosselin, though she had found, I'm sorry.
Janine, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the thing here. Janine Gosselin thought she had found her Hollywood dream in Georgia. After moving from Los Angeles, the 62-year-old script supervisor was in high demand throughout the 2010s and early 2020s, working on blockbuster Marvel productions like Spider-Man Homecoming and She-Hulk Attorney at Law. But as Marvel shifts its productions overseas, Gosselin's once thriving career has stalled. "You feel like a jilted lover," she admitted, explaining that she hasn't had steady work since February of last year and even borrowed from her retirement to get by. The decline reflects a wider collapse in Georgia's film industry. Once marketed as the Hollywood of the South, the state saw a nearly 50% drop in production spending over the past 3 years. Marvel alone, which made 22 projects in Georgia, has moved most of its upcoming films, including 2 new Avengers movies and the next Spider-Man, to the UK, where labor is cheaper and studios don't have to pay for health insurance. "Marvel allowed me to do so much with my life and really set the trajectory for my career," said Grip John Grubb, who used his earnings from Marvel's shoots to buy what he calls the House Avengers bot. For Georgia crews, the loss has been devastating. Workers have taken to rewriting the state's famous production tagline into a bitter parody, "Unemployed in Georgia." Lee Thomas, director of the Georgia Film Office, acknowledged that labor costs have pushed studios away, but expressed hope they will return. "We hope this is an anomaly because they have faith in our crew and facilities and our tried and true incentive. Still, the signs are ominous." At Trillis Studios, Marvel's sprawling Atlanta hub that was once so busy we were fighting over stages on a daily basis. According to the location scouts, sound stages now sit empty. Seeley recalled the moment the reality sank in. "During production of Captain America Brave New World, Marvel auctioned off years' worth of props. That's when it really hit home. Despite the gloom, Trillis CEO Frank Patterson believes the downturn is temporary. It's going to settle into some kind of new normal in 2027, he predicted. But for veterans like Gosselin and Grubb, the golden age of Marvel in Georgia already feels like a distant memory."
Well, I'll say this. I feel bad for all the crew people that work there. I know people in Georgia who work in film and makeup effects and production work. This is really sad. It's going to affect them. A lot of these people, they work maybe 6 months of the year, so they get paid well during that 6 months and then have to survive until the next job. So this is going to be devastating. I mean, California's already feeling it, but overseas seems to be the way that things are going. Your guys' thoughts, and also, by the way, with look at DC. They're doing 1 to 2 movies a year. You're not going to see prolific output. I think you're not going to see a Shang-Chi 2. Sorry, Alan.
What?
It's not happening.
I was promised.
Yes.
We need to resolve that end credit scene.
Yes, all the end credit scenes. But where does this leave us?
It just
sounds like Hollywood,
pisses
doesn't
me
it?
off, man. Because I feel like, look, at the end of the day, we need to bring production back to California. We just do, right? And it goes even. Look, we all thought, okay, by shooting in Atlanta, it would be cheaper, but at least it's still in the U.S. Now they're just moving it completely out of the country, which is a black eye on California. This is stupid. This is our national product, and we can't even make it here.
Yeah,
the unions. You got to look at the unions, man, because the unions jack up the prices for everything. And I'm not saying that unions should or shouldn't exist. I'm not really making a comment on that. But the reality is that when they went out to strike and they were fighting for all kinds of various, higher pay, healthcare, they kind of cooked their own goose because they were just telling the studios, okay, we're going to be more expensive. The labor in California and in America in general, if you're a part of one of these unions, it's going to be more expensive to you. And so the studios do what all, big businesses do. They're okay, we're just going to cut our labor costs by moving to another country or somewhere else where it's cheaper to do business. And that's the bottom line. So it sounds just like Hollywood. Everything that they said in that article is just what's happening in Hollywood. Everybody's left Hollywood. They went to Georgia. Now they're leaving Georgia and they're going over to the UK. And if the UK gets expensive, guess what they're going to do?
Yeah.
But what about tariffs? I said I would. If you did it in America, it's fine. If you go to UK,
yeah, now that's where
I'm going to
Trump
tariff
needs to
you.
step up.
Well, that's the thing. It's the cost of making bad movies. Instead of making 20 bad movies, a lot of it in the United States, they're only making 5 bad movies, and they're doing it all overseas. If let's say, for example, Marvel had struck gold, started making great movies since Endgame, and all this money was rolling in, sure, they would still be filming in Atlanta, in Hollywood. But because they've been making such crappy films, they've got to make them cheaper and cheaper, and the only way to do that is go overseas.
So rather than make good movies, they're going to move overseas.
Yeah, they're going to make cheaper bad movies overseas.
Well, look, they make the Dune films overseas. I think part of that is location.
Yeah, we don't have a good desert for Dune.
Wait. Here's my question though. When they film these things overseas, they still have to adhere though by rules and regulations of our laws here, right? Cinematically, I mean.
Not in terms of hiring people.
Yeah. So wait, you're not going to have to hire a union?
Yes, SAG rules don't apply to overseas.
That's why George Lucas filmed all the Star Wars over there, because he didn't have to go to all of our rules. You can film there even if you're not in SAG.
Oh,
yeah.
Because you
and
can't
then
hire
you're
enough
talking about
SAG
the
workers.
amount of film tax credits that they're given. Like the UK just shells out tax credits. So you're saving a ton of money. Even if you did have to pay a little bit above, you're going to get it all back in tax credits. So at the end of the day, it just makes more sense, to go over and film in the UK than
I did just
stick
see.
here in America.
Sorry, I did just see that Taylor Sheridan is building a brand new studio in Texas. He's got like a brand new fancy studio for his numerous productions.
Yeah, I think Paramount financed that for him too.
So at least there's something. I don't know, like the difference between films and television, if that's the difference there, but hopefully that will be more people doing that or trying to explore those options.
Well, also, I can't imagine his production values being that high either, or his production cost, being that high.
Sheridan?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he knows how to actually film. So he writes in his script shit that he knows is feasible to actually do. Not that you get on something, we can't film this for our budget. So yeah, there's a reason.
He's also probably not hiring actors at the same price that big studios are hiring.
He's got a new movie with Brandon Skelnar, who's the main from 1923 Yellow. And he probably writes with them in mind and for correct amount. People know what they're getting.
One last thing I want to show you before we get to soups and then our main topic is this. It's a slog at the box office now. I know. But it's fall, and that's when Oscar films come out. A lot of horror we're going to see in October. Some big tentpole movies. Tron Ares, Wicked for Good, a new Avatar. But Good Boy, a movie that I've heard about, and I've not seen the trailer. The premise for this looks amazing. I want to watch the trailer with you guys, get a quick reaction, and then we'll go to soups here. But I just want to see what knowing what because we all love dogs. Do we all love dogs? I know Alan's dog Molly. Dante, you have a dog.
Yep.
Essentially, I have a dog now. But let's take a look at this trailer.
Look who's here.
I guess I'm next. I should never have come here.
Alan will have to go see that movie. It I should note it South by Southwest. It won the Howl of Fame award. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Who won last
I
year,
have
by
no
the
idea
way?
what I just watched.
Well, apparently it's about a dog that witnesses a serial killer.
Ah,
I don't think anything bad happens to the dog, but the dog sees things.
That's supposed to be like a supernatural thriller, but from the point of the dog, like
yeah, it's all
paranormal
like how you
activity
always
or
see your
whatever.
dog staring into the corner. Like, why is the dog
Yeah.
just staring? Like, what's going on? Like, this is what the dog is seeing. Basically, I think it's the premise.
Gladys
Which,
from
it
the
sounds
retirement
amazing.
home.
It sounds like it's really creative, and if they do it, if they did it right, this is a winner for me, man.
I just love a good original premise, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
So I'm all for it.
it looks like a good October movie.
Yes, it'll be perfect
October
for
3rd.
that. There we go. Let's go to comments here. We got Soups right here from the top.
Axel's Abode, again, member for 12 months, 43% drop, good for a scary movie. F1 only dropped 9%.
It's great.
Yeah.
Is F1 still in the theater?
It returned to theaters and IMAX screens. But
Okay.
I noticed now that IMAX is sharing screens with a lot of movies. Like I'm seeing Black Swan on Thursday, and it's like they're just putting different movies in there because not one movie is really performing well.
Helo's ending for 2. My wife loves my Fantastic Four skin. Yeah, in Fortnite,
Well, there
of
you
course.
are.
Yeah, my
Orange
parents took
Gaten.
mine away when I was a kid. So
It was for cleanliness, I swear. Orange Gaten for 2. Steph, when can we expect to see the cock porn bucket?
No.
Oh, that's
No.
right.
Did it right the first time.
I
It's
heard
really-
that. I was watching live when she misspoke. That
Steph might
was
be a little
great.
busy, maybe dealing with that cock porn bucket.
Oh my god!
They're getting out of control.
Please
These popcorn
clip it.
buckets.
Please clip
Only
it.
only at certain theaters.
Batmobile for 2. Ain't no milk left in them things. You just had water.
Yeah.
You just had water.
Dude,
Wasted
there's
Bailey
no-
for 2.
There's never milk in them until never mind.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Never
No
mind.
details.
Don't explain it to them. My dream is for a Terrence Malick Silver Surfer film.
That would be great.
Naveen for 100 rubies here. Spider-Man is simply too big. I've seen more posts and engagements in the socials of just the behind the scenes of the upcoming film than Superman and Fantastic Four combined. Well, they're doing something very smart. Yes. Instead of having Daniel, Dustin, Craig say everything about it, they're just showing the Spider-Man suit. Graph Web for 2. For fuck's sake, cancel Disney Plus. Thank you, Graph Web.
I love that you always sing that. It's great.
Gets
Hey.
very upsetty when we don't.
Let's get to our main topic. Alien Earth premiered on Hulu. So if you have Disney Hulu or Hulu, whatnot, you can watch it. First 2 episodes dropped. It's received, I think it's fair to say, normies kind of like it. I have heard a lot of normies praise it and enjoy it because it checks the boxes of everything you'd expect from an alien movie, including an opening sequence that is lifted right from the original with even the breakfast scene. There's that sort of diverse group of people. They got an actor who looks like Yupet Kodo from the original. And so, okay, fine. And I would describe it as a form of human AI. You kind of remix things you already know. But I would say amongst fans of the genre, opinions are mixed. I want to hear for everyone who watched it. What do you guys think? Let's break it down.
I really liked it. I liked it a lot, actually.
Okay.
Because it did give me the feels of like the originals. To be honest, I think it's the best thing they've done alien wise since Aliens. Because everything after Aliens, I'm sorry, has been pretty much garbage, and that includes Alien 3 for me. So I dug these 2 episodes, man. I think Sydney Chandler did an amazing job in those first 2 episodes. I loved her acting in it. Daughter of Kyle Chandler, by the way, and yeah, I don't know. Her and Timothy Oliphant, I like their chemistry together. I don't know. For me, it hit everything that I wanted them to hit. I thought the alien was menacing. I thought the scenes with the other aliens were creepy as hell, like the little bug thing that was that shot into the guy's neck and the whole deal when they were handcuffed together. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was a really well done 2 episodes so far. So
All right. Okay.
I liked the first episode enough that there were intriguing concepts, though I did feel that the beginning was a bit, it looked great. The sets and props and the detail in that, although it looked maybe too much like the Nostromo, but I mean, that's fine. They're trying to, capture that same timeline. But the way they did the exposition and explaining the corporations, I didn't really like that exposition, the way they wrote that. I don't think it did a good job at establishing the world and with the greedy corporations between I didn't like that part of it, but it looked great. And then concepts were intriguing enough that I had very high hopes for the series. So as I think I should have been, it looked good. There were great actors in it. Noah Hawley is very established, has a great resume. So my expectations were high that we would get something cerebral and carefully crafted, something with a TV series you could really dive into the themes very well. And I thought that the xenomorph and the other aspects of it, the horror aspects, would be treated very with precision and careful execution. And it just by the second episode just devolved into just pure tropey sci-fi schlock, and just it's so many things that just did not make sense to me. And I don't know, it turned into parody at some time. So I liked the first episode, but the second episode really lost me. And yeah. So
Other
yeah, I'm kind of
thoughts?
mixed.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this for you fans of Alien. Wasn't it about the scares? I mean, I watched this series. I'm not scared at all. Is the lore really that great that we want to follow that lore, and that lore?
Well,
yes,
and not
becomes
even well.
subservient to
Well, I mean,
being
okay.
scared in the theater.
To
and in
answer
the
that,
dark.
Alan, Alien has two tones, right? Let's be real. We have Alien, which was a horror film, and we have Aliens, which was an action film. So Aliens they've always had that kind of two-tone thing going on. This felt a little bit more like Aliens, in a way where you have like the troops on the ground, you have the Earth Marines, going in there,
the inept corporate security that work for Prodigy City.
Exactly. And that's why they're all getting killed.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, so it's always had those two tones. And I think this show, for me, it does do a decent job of blending horror and action. Because there are some scenes that are just genuinely creepy.
Well, I think what stands out to me with Alien is not just the scares, the jump scares. It is the atmosphere. It is the cold, menacing, the mystery of the unknown. And honestly, probably the scariest scene for me in that first film is the space jockey scene. Just that grim, dark atmosphere does so much to establish the world. And when it comes to lore, I love lore, it's delicious, but sometimes the mystery and of the unknown is what is truly scary. So I was hoping that it wouldn't just be just shock and gore just for the sake of it, because I didn't feel scared at all. I didn't feel that dramatic tension at any point. Mostly the most tension I had, I guess, was the other creatures, because I had no idea what those were. And I can tell that the writers were bored and they had to come up with that.
Those other creatures, they're mutating.
I feel like they were bored with the xenomorph, so they felt like they had to come up with these new creatures. And I feel like the xenomorph just had just wasn't treated well. Just like he's just mindlessly, and so like the script deems him not to kill certain people, and it just doesn't make sense. The actions of the xenomorph and the soldiers don't make sense. And yeah.
It is.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think
second
to your
episode.
point,
Okay.
to your point,
Elaine,
tell us
the only
something
one he doesn't kill
afterwards.
is the cyborg, right?
I mean, Elaine, to your point, it
Cyborg's
sounds
human.
like that they were given 8 episodes to fill, and they didn't have enough material to fill 8 episodes. So that's why it feels long. It feels slow. I mean, maybe if you cut it down to 6 or 5 episodes, maybe things would move faster. Maybe you can do away with some extraneous stuff that doesn't really matter. I think that's the weakness of this series, is the fact that it is a series, and we're locked into 8.
The cyborg thing, just real quick. That's the biggest weird thing to me, is the whole addition of, the hybrids, that's fine. We had synthetics, and now you're saying there's a very specific person in a very new company that is making hybrid humans by putting their consciousness. Okay, that's so. The whole adding cyborgs, which are just normal humans with cybernetic upgrades that now are like a third-class citizen. You cyborg, that's a whole kind of weird thing to add in. But I think the best thing the series done is make at least the tech, the retro tech of the 70s, it looks all pretty congruent. But yeah, Elaine was talking about the atmosphere. It's like, well, they've tried to give you every atmosphere, because there's a jungle that looks like Prometheus and Covenant, and there's dark and closed quarters on the ship that's crashed, and there's the underbelly of the city that's also dark and creepy, which I guess they're going to keep going down. So you might get your environment, just not in the second episode.
No. But the environment here is CG driven versus the original, which is all practical, which is another problem I have with the series.
Who want to go? Sorry, I was about to speak again. No, go ahead, Elaine, please.
I mean, I liked the practical xenomorph, and that was great. But the way they shot certain scenes just made absolutely no sense, from like the way it was edited and the way it was paced, that it just did not feel scary at all. Like the one, like soldiers just decide to be stupid and just let themselves be killed. They don't even try to get a shot off. Numerous times there are characters literally sticking their face over a face hugger egg, looking derpy, and it's just asking to be. And then the xenomorph comes and attacks Hermit at the end. Why didn't he just capture him and stick him to the wall there, right where the eggs were?
Right. That sounds.
I didn't understand. There's just numerous things that didn't make sense. He didn't seem like he was a predator out to procreate. It just like a mindless killing machine. And the way they edited the scenes did not make sense. Like he went into that apartment like a bull in a china shop. And then when we finally do see what the scene was, everything is so carefully laid out. And like, it just doesn't make any sense. And Hermit has the most plot armory things that happen to him. And then the next scene, after the horrors he just witnessed, he's talking about baseball and a memory with his dad. Like, it just doesn't make sense. No shock whatsoever after what he just saw. There's just a lot of questions like that just don't make sense to me. And I thought it would have been written better and shot better.
Yeah,
sounds like Alien to me.
I wasn't so like caught up.
Yeah.
I wasn't so caught up on the horror aspect of it, just because for me, look, man, we've already had how many Alien films now? Like 7, 8, 9. I don't know if there's I don't know if anyone can make Aliens scary again in that way that it was in the first movie. The first movie was very unique. The second movie, even, they were scary. After like movie number 9, it's like now we just expect the action of it all, because are we still really scared when we see this stuff now?
I mean, that's what I always associate with Alien, though, is the scares. It's not necessarily the story. To me, it felt like the scares is what drew people to the theaters to see it. Yeah. And we're making an Alien now without any scares whatsoever.
Look, I had no interest in watching this series, and everything you guys are telling me right now confirms my opinion and my decision. It sounds just like every other Aliens movie that's ever come out. Poorly written, no real scares, just kind of there. It's like, okay, I saw Alien Romulus. I think after that I was done. I'm like, all right,
I had a better time with Romulus.
Any more of these. It's it's two movies. It's a 2-movie franchise, and AVP Comics. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm with TA. I wanted to watch it, but everything that I saw on Twitter, it kind of made me laugh at it, because I was just like, what is this? It looks a little bit derpy. People were making fun of the alien's teeth, calling it a grill. And it just, the design of the alien, while I appreciate the practicality, it looked really weird, at least from what I saw on Twitter. And then just listening to you guys talk about it, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to invest any time with it, especially if it's going to be like 8 episodes. I don't know if I want to invest that time in it. But also, I love like the tension, not just the scares of the Alien franchise, of Alien and Aliens, but the tension. There's so much tension because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where they're at. And it was always like this, you get glimpses of them, whereas later on you can, it's just they focused more on like the jump scare, the gore of it all. And that's not why I kind of liked the Alien franchise. I liked the tense atmosphere of it. But does this have that, the tension?
No.
Oh,
not
yeah.
really.
See, the thing with Alien too, it's a movie that can't be made anymore. I don't think it's an art form the way Ridley Scott shot that. And to use the xenomorph so wisely, in that we're more scared of what we can't see.
Yeah.
Most of the time we're not seeing it. And that's when our imaginations go wild, and often what we think, our imagination can just fill in those gaps and fill ourselves with dread and horror. And the way he did that, establishing the mystery, the cold hostility of space, and humans thinking that they're top of the food chain as they try to explore and colonize the universe, and couple with that with their own hubris and thinking that they can create AI to this degree that won't turn on them. The way they handled the themes, it was the themes, not so much just the horror of it. It was, and Aliens was a great film too. It did something different, but still well shot, filled with likable characters. And that was another thing too. This doesn't have any characters that I liked Timothy Oliphant probably the most, but that wasn't saying much. There wasn't really any characters that I liked or really felt invested in. And Boy Cavalier, I didn't like he's like a Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor type vibe, and his motivations for what he was doing, that he wanted to have a conversation with a smart person that was smarter than him. Like, that's it. And then you send all of your hybrids into this dangerous situation, not just one, but all of them, putting that at risk.
He's clearly the
things
villain
like
of the series, not the aliens. It's going to be another metaphor that we're the real monsters or whatever. It's not exactly subtle.
But
also,
I feel
I think we have to look at it
Sorry,
like
go
this too, like really quickly. Again, Alien was a horror film. Okay, no doubt about it. What it became later was basically the equivalent of a slasher movie, right? Like the first Nightmare on Elm Street was scary as hell. Everything after that was, I want to see who Freddy kills next, right? Like we weren't even afraid
Who
of
and
Freddy
how,
Krueger
yeah.
anymore.
Mhm.
We just wanted to see who he was going to kill and how he was going to kill them. And I think this is what Aliens has turned into. Is it started out as a horror film, but now it's just, I want to see who the aliens are going to kill and how they're going to kill them.
I don't think they're even doing that. It just feels like a political drama now.
Well, people are getting killed by aliens, so I mean that is
but who and how? Did you care who gets killed? Do you care how they get killed?
Corporations owning everything was always a thing, but adding in the new one and then focusing specifically on that is going to be like a time of our, modern time.
Hey, Rob,
Robert,
we're talking Alien Earth. I assume you saw it.
I did.
Thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was an interesting combination of Blade Runner and Alien, and corporate science fiction was a staple of 70s movies, like Rollerball. So I've always and the idea of playing with immortality. I mean, obviously in the Alien franchise, the synthetics have always been an issue. We saw a bad one with Ash and a good one with Bishop. Where do they come from? And the idea of putting human consciousness into bodies and all that was sort of all interesting. But there's a lot of stuff that's kind of goofy in it too.
Well, I mean, there were, I think, some really good ideas introduced in episode 1. The idea that you could transfer a child's brain, because adults' brains are for some reason we can't do it, into a new body. But that brings up the question, are they really transferring the soul of the being, or are they copying like a hard drive?
He's also manipulating them at night.
But see, isn't that the eternal question? Like, you look at Roy Batty and the replicants in Blade Runner, they're manufactured, but once you gift them with a past and they suddenly can contemplate their own existence, they develop souls. The same true as like in Battlestar Galactica, Data's quest to be human. And the idea is a manufactured being. I mean, just because you have a human consciousness, if you remove the human consciousness from its biological shell, where it can feel, they talk about how they have to pump hormones in, and I guess serotonin. And if we're just our consciousness removed from our biology, are we still human? And I think that's a great, constant, ongoing theme in so many science fiction stories and movies and novels, all the way back to, like, let's go back to Pinocchio. I remember my grandmother took me to see a ballet called Coppelia that was about basically a robot girl. And then Metropolis, Maria, prototype for C-3PO. And what does all that mean? I thought it was interesting because, look, I think the Alien franchise in general has an overarching idea of like to me, to explain where the aliens came from, or where the space jockey came from was a total mistake. The aliens are the unknowability of the cosmos. You know, that we should never know who they are or where they came from or where they, that's what makes them alien. And once you start trying to explain away what they are, you completely demystify. They're totally Lovecraftian. You know, they're the old ones. We should never understand where they come from because we're never going to understand the universe. We're never going to be able to do that. And I think, you know, with the alien jumping around, just throw me berserk a little bit, I have to say.
Well, this is why I hated Prometheus so much, because it was just retarded. Like, it made no sense, and that's when I checked out of the Alien.
A mistake to explain that the engineers actually sent Jesus, and when we crucified him, it upset them so much that they wanted to wipe us out with the black goo. Yeah, that probably wasn't a good idea of Ridley to do that. It might have ruined some things.
Prometheus as a science fiction film, I think just in isolation is good, but trying to connect it with the whole black goo thing was a mistake, and taking out the mystery of the engineer, the space jockey. Huge mistake.
By the way, I agree. And the idea that they made an alien or David made an alien. I mean, it's so weird that we are going to question forever. Humanity will always question, where did we come from? What is our purpose? And we should also be asking that about the aliens. Where do they come from? What is their purpose? We will never know the truth. And we're never going to know the truth about ourselves. So why are we always trying to explain away something like the alien? Why do we have to make it make sense? It shouldn't make sense. It's something that we never, ever, 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 ever want to come across in our existence.
I feel that ruins a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah,
is by over explaining everything.
Every prequel is simply, we will explain something that didn't need to be explained.
I don't need to know who was at Boba Fett's wedding. I assume, and that happened in the books. It was Dengar, by the way, if anyone's interested.
He raised him. That's true.
But so yeah, I like when ideas don't provide exact answers. It gives you something to think about. And it reminds me, Rob, you must know that the essay about transporters in Star Trek, they're basically suicide machines, or like I love that. God, what is the essay? The name? Who wrote that?
I don't remember who wrote it. I don't remember who wrote that, but it's a pretty famous. You know what are people when they're. But the thing is, in the Star Trek universe, they do establish when you first start watching the original series, it was just a quick production way to not have to have a miniature of a shuttlecraft going from the Enterprise down to a planet. So it was a very elegant production decision to figure out. Okay, well they'll just transport down. Yeah. So the idea was that you are yourself. You're just being dematerialized and rematerialized, you know. And then as people started to think about it, then it became.
It's when you get the two Rikers that it's like, well, which one is the real one?
But that was that was a really interesting idea that a transporter signal could get reflected back. But they were playing with that. But there's also the idea of mass. Like, when you rematerialize, suddenly now there's two of you, but where did the mass that dematerialized came from? And you kind of have to go with it.
Dark matter. You just say dark matter always.
Yeah. I mean,
no one can explain it.
But what was really interesting was the idea that, somebody just recently did a video about, I think it was a video or I think the video is called like The Cosmic Horror of Thomas Riker. It's on YouTube, and it was something new that somebody did. It's pretty good.
I love that. But the thing, I like these ideas that are explored in the first episode. Where it goes off the rails for me in the second episode is the, brother-sister relationship that getting, resolved so quickly.
You need that, right?
Speaking of memory on Christmas, I thought was too easy. The huge missed opportunity for drama there. And then I felt that the Xenomorph was kind of a guest star with other aliens and intrigue. The second episode kind of lost. So I don't know your thoughts.
My thoughts.
You know what? I like Noah Hawley's work. I love Legion. I'm definitely willing to give him the rest of the season, like just to put out what he's thinking as far as the show goes. I mean, so far I'm in. It's enough. Like, here's the thing. I went in there with no expectations, zero, because like I said, I checked out of Aliens a long time ago. So for me, it was entertaining. Like I said, I love Sydney Chandler. I think she's doing a good job as the protagonist.
Wendy?
Yeah, I actually like her.
As Wendy,
I think
yes.
It's very good. It's very good.
That's the only issue. And it was kind of, we saw this in Freakier Friday, if you watch that, where like, the girls were good acting like adults, but the adults, their idea of acting like a kid was just screaming a lot. Some of these hybrids who are supposed to be ostensibly 11 and 8-year-olds, they do act a little too immature for even 11-year-olds. But that's the thing with Wendy and her brother. That is the main driving relationship, because you can't do romance because it's an 11-year-old in a whatever body, so it has to be her love of her brother. And is that really his sister crux? Like, he has memories, but what does that mean?
I mean, there's interesting things in here, and that's why I knew all that going in. And just when I heard Noah Hawley talk about this franchise and Alien and what he loves about it, and that not just the aesthetic that he wanted to adhere to, but more importantly the themes, I wanted to like it. And I was going in, with thinking that it was, and the first episode was good overall, and good start, even though it did have its issues too. But the second episode felt completely different to me when it came to the pacing, and some of the so many choices as far as the characters, what they made, and how the scenes were shot didn't make sense. I was with you with sending Wendy in there because it was her brother, but then sending all of the hybrids in is when you lost me, and putting all of those revolutionary beings out into the wild that could easily be destroyed. You have no idea, but putting all of them at risk just did not make sense to me. And then when they're trying to go about trying to collect what's in there is laughable. I was like, just laughing at certain points at their decisions. Like the premise just became silly at that point when they're looking at a huge plant and like, okay, now what? And there's literally one of the kids, hybrids, that are just staring at this clearly menacing plant, just begging to be eaten by it. It's so many things like that happened that it just felt like a different episode or different writers. I don't know. Maybe it'll get better. I don't know.
Here, just real quick, put up an article from Medium magazine. Do Star Trek transporters kill? It's by Lex Benjamin. It's from 2021. We'll put the link in there for people to read.
Yeah, I love Medium's fandom articles. They're pretty great.
Yeah, this is great. Reminds me of The Fly. There's an essay that Cronenberg wrote when he made The Fly about how that would work. I like when people that are creators put a lot of thought into the science or even fictional science behind what they're making. So
say what you want about Star Trek Enterprise, but one of the first times they used the transporter, the matter transporter that they were only using to like bring stuff onto the ship, and they have to use it because I think Trip is one of the first people to do it. You definitely science is not settled. I do not want my atoms digitized into numerical form or whatever it is, and it's pretty squirrely.
Well, Star Trek the motion picture had people dying on the
Yeah.
That was a horrifying image for me.
You've
what
got
we
Scotty
got back didn't live
preserved,
long.
right? Scotty preserved his pattern buffer for 20 plus years, and then he's saved in one of the episodes.
But I will say there's enough.
That's
there.
Relics season 6, by the way.
Thank you.
I love that Rob knows all that.
Pattern degradation.
There's enough there for me. I want to see the third episode. I really do.
Well, at least it's thoughtful. At least it's compelling. I love that speech that Oliphant gave about being meat.
Yeah.
And when you're no longer organic, no one wants to either implant their embryos in you or eat you. So you're essentially you're no longer part of the natural world, so you're safe. Or are you?
He very clearly seems to resent the children when they act human, because I was noticing, even though they're in a fake body, and if you've read anything where they try to describe like those fake bodies, they shouldn't need to switch their body weight or fidget because they don't feel that, but still they have a mental of humans, so they're still moving and fidgeting. And he kind of looked at them with resentment, like, you're not meat anymore. You were meat, now you're something else. So he's almost like a synth supremacist, even though I don't know. It's got
He's
But why
like,
did-
and he
character, I
obviously had I think he questions Wendy most, right? Because Wendy is, she's the alpha of the
Like a
group
data
for the most part. And
relationship.
yeah, so I mean, I think the reason why he gave her that speech was because he's trying to remind her, hey, you know what? Your brother's going to die either way. Either he dies today or he dies of old age. But either way, he's going to die. You are not. And he's just trying to put that into her head, like, you're not a human anymore, Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how this plays out, because this Prodigy Corporation, I don't recall any mention of that company in any other Alien lore. I think there's a possibility that island may not be there.
Prodigy City's probably going to go boom
where
boom.
is
It's
it?
the only way to be sure.
It's
The whole city had to be nuked.
Chris, here was something that disappointed me. As a Noah Hawley fan, he said he doesn't feel that he's beholden to any canon. In an interview, he said that, and I was like, really? I mean, you can use. I really can't stand this idea that creators just pick and choose. Like, part of the reason we love our fiction, especially the big world building fiction of Dune or Lord of the Rings, is because of the world building. And when these new creators come along and they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter, I'm going to change it and make it the way I want it to be, I feel that then why are you working within the confines of a previously created fictional universe? And then you come along, it shows, at least to me, it shows you're disdainful of the original creator's intent, and you're disdainful of the audience that is these fictional universes are beloved.
It's alienating.
Well,
no pun intended.
I think that worked for him with Legion because he didn't have to adhere to the X-Men so much.
Sure.
And Legion was kind of its own thing, even though there were some characters from the X-Men universe in that show. He wasn't like, he didn't have to adhere to any one particular storyline.
Right, because he was just taking the idea. And I never felt, I had no problem with that.
I know. It's all unlike Disney to allow creators to violate canon.
Well, maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought that was in response to the question of if he was going to adhere to Prometheus, the prequel canon, in terms of, and he said that the black goo wasn't really necessary. It didn't really pertain to what he was going to try to, or the aesthetic, the Apple-like shiny technology aesthetic. I thought that was, maybe I'm misremembering. But I thought
before regressing into 70s stylized technology. Like, I think that was the one good thing they did, though, with like the touch screens and being able to throw, and like the tablets, but it still looked 70s.
But Alien Romulus suffered because it tried to connect to everything.
Yeah. Right.
All of the films. And so I think there's a balance there that if you keep it small and keep it contained, you can enrich it as you expand upon you can just take one piece of this universe and explore a theme. It doesn't have to, it can fit and not violate anything else. It doesn't have to all connect and touch on every single film, because I think you're gonna, like, Romulus suffered, I think, because of that. It was great until it's tried to do that.
If he doesn't want to adhere to Prometheus, I'm all for that. Okay, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the important thing about, the Alien franchise, and it certainly was, like, I find it's frustrating because Dark Horse did a wonderful job of exploring both the Predator and the Alien franchises. Even when they first came out with the Predator versus Alien comic, that was way more adult and interesting than anything we got cinematically. And I feel that these in those comics, the early 90s Dark Horse stuff, they did such a good job. The writers did such a good job of exploring these concepts. They were well done, but they were so different that you weren't worried about canon. They still worked within canon, but the idea of where would these aliens, like, the aliens can represent different things to different people. And when you encounter them, the important thing is not, can we fight a xenomorph? It's like, what if you left xenomorphs alone? Could you coexist? Could human beings coexist with xenomorphs?
The greatest thing they've done, I've got the omnibuses back there, is making it canon that predators consider xenomorphs one of the greatest huntable things as far as honor.
Yeah.
And that they will go to planets that they know have queens or capture queens so that they can send their unblooded predators to go fight and all that. That is a great canon that, again, the comics are all great. Yeah. Just the little when we say canon, because obviously you can throw any comic book and say it was in the comic. We mean the most established, popular canon that doesn't like mess up the original movies that just tried to make 1 and 2 better. That canon.
Yes, 100%.
They're not paying attention to that.
There's a comic called Hive that's really, really good too. An alien series.
Like Aliens, when James Cameron came in, the introduction of the Queen fit so well. It made so much sense, and that was a new concept. I think even before then, in a deleted scene, they were talking about the how they would reproduce, I guess, without egg morphing is what it was, but that was deleted, so it didn't count. So so that's brilliant. That's inspired, and it seemed to really fit well, and they didn't have to connect to everything in regards to that. That's how that should be done. And is similar with the franchise. Predators is really good. I don't think that gets enough love. Recently saw that, and the way it established the Predator culture, that was cool. This game preserve on this other alien planet, and then there's this fighting between tribes. Like that's cool.
So there's different versions of them, different clans.
It's expanding while enriching. It's an art form when handling IPs like this, and you either can do it well or fall under this immense weight of lore.
And real quick, just to Robert's point, it is alienating, especially if, and I'm going to use Disney Star Wars as an example, so don't hate me, but they did say, look, all this previous expanded universe doesn't count, but everything we do is canon. Buy it. It is the story. And we got comics of Andor and K2SO meeting Andor, and then Tony Gilroy did. He goes, I don't want to follow that canon. Okay, but that's the problem, because you told us and we spent money based on it. And this goes to anything. Like if you tell us this is the story, you got to abide by that being the story. And
well, you also need people that are overseeing the story that know what it is.
Yeah, and they don't close loop it so that later on they can weave it in without it. But still, they don't even try to do that.
I mean, to be fair, I think they should have consulted Tony Gilroy and Gareth Edwards, who created the characters. If you're going to do an origin story, and if you clearly did have another project going on, I think you should have been communicating. That's how the old Lucasfilm used to do. At least.
I think the reactions mixed from people really enjoying it to myself kind of lost me on episode 2. I still want to see it. I still want to. I'll probably, depending on the 3rd episode, stick with it till the end. So I'm sure we'll revisit. Any final thoughts? I have more topics.
I think, and not that I'm getting tired of this trope, but the whole eat the rich thing, like, I get it when it comes to I get it when it comes to this particular story. I get it, right? Because even in the original, it was all about the corporations, right? And we all know the corporations are disgusting, this and that. We know this. It is a little tiring for me, though. Like, I get it. If you're a trillionaire, you're probably an evil monster. I get it, but I'm just tired of seeing it on screen.
There you go.
Yeah, there needs to be a refreshing take on it if you're going to do that. I agree.
I see someone. Never mind. It's a super chat. We'll ask.
Let's go to soups real quick, and then I have a couple more topics for fun.
You fucked that bitch. Remember, for 2 months, no cookie.
No.
There is a roast beef sandwich. No, there's a roast beef sandwich. I want on the screen. Maybe there are 3 fries short of a side of a Happy Meal.
I do not want to respond to that. I don't think. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, I had to read it. Never win.
It's all good.
If you removed the xenomorph from the show, what would change? It seems like a script for a different series, but with alien flavoring added. Yes.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Like the xenomorph was a guest star in a different sci-fi show that had good ideas.
Sounds like he wants to do a transhumanist story, and he just put it in an alien one. It's okay.
Yeah. Actually, you know what though? I'm going to fight back on that one, because I think I would agree with that up until we got to the end where we saw the eggs, right? Because there's a bigger plan in place here, and that alien, that xenomorph was definitely guarding those eggs that they found. So I think there's a lot more to the xenomorph than what we got in the first 1 or 2 episodes.
I wish we would have seen more of what happened on the ship. And I don't know if we're going to get flashbacks or not, but was the xenomorph, was he captured as a specimen, or was he a stowaway?
I think what happened was at the very beginning, when they all got out of the pods, there was still a girl in the pod that wasn't out. The Asian guy or android kept looking at it, or her. I think she was impregnated.
I think there's just a lot of things that happened off screen that I would have liked to have seen.
Let me
So
clear
maybe
this up,
we'll see
but the title Alien, doesn't that refer to the xenomorph, or am I mistaken?
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean the xenomorph is the one doing all the killing in the show.
But that's what the word
Well, not
alien
all of
means in the title.
It's the
You got the buzz.
franchise. It's
The franchise. Okay.
Or it could mean a lot of things.
Oh,
Right, but from the first movie, it was the xenomorph, or was it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Could
Keep
be
going.
Predator
It,
in a
it was the
stowaway.
xenomorph. I mean, the original title was Star Beast. So
Royston, that doesn't
Predator's
have
going
the
to come
same
in and nuke the city. Predator's going to fix everything.
Royston Bailey for 2. No one can paint the Mona Lisa again. Time to move on. Pookie Malibu. Remember for
You say that
13 months.
after 9 Alien movies, but yeah.
Shouldn't the hybrid be mentally in her 20s? She was transferred as a kid and it's been 10 years. No, because they know that they can't essentially become adults on their own, but that they're at
Well, maybe
night,
the
they're
programming
messing with
can
them.
become an
That's what I'm
was
saying.
10
They're
years?
messing with them.
Wait, it was 10 years since she was transferred?
I don't.
Such a-
Wasn't it?
I don't think they made that clear. That's weird.
There's a time lapse of them bringing other people into the fold, but I didn't know that was 10 years. Jimmy X drummer for 10. The xenomorph isn't a queen. How do we get those eggs? Presumably there's going to be flashbacks showing that they probably were on LV-426. They're the ones that got eggs from there, and they're the ones that purposely diverted in the first movie to go check out the.
Yeah,
And-
they had
and-
tons of face huggers. They had to come from somewhere. So I don't know if there were eggs and face huggers that they got specimens from. That was all not really clear.
Right. And also the two dirty looking dudes, I guess they were the miners, said that they lost a lot of people trying to find those eggs. So
yeah, and some of those creatures, you know,
Is that the Badlands planet, do you think? Maybe.
they're smart. Yeah. Razorburn for 5. This reminds me of the planet killer in OG Star Trek. No one knows where it came from, but it was a threat. Same with Alien. Doesn't need an origin.
I don't remember that storyline.
the
Robert,
Doomsday Machine,
Oh, the Doomsday Machine,
written
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Norman Spinrad.
Oh, it's
Skeleton
great.
Factory.
Second season.
Weapons is a soft remake of Willow. Thoughts?
What?
I
You
don't
have
see
to
that one.
explain that. I
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
because
that.
this is the-
Okay, so I
There might
know
be
that
spoilers.
Bath Morta kidnapped the baby in order to like drain her life force so she could stay younger. And so is that the thought process with
Yeah.
the witch and Willow or in weapons? I'm guessing. But yeah, I don't see it any. That's the only only connection I can make to that.
They also did that
Brolin
in
is
Hocus
Mad Mardigan.
Pocus.
Yeah, I mean that's a trope.
all right. So lots to discuss. Let's get to this. Someone is smart at Paramount. Theatrical brings value. I know there are notes for this story. There's also an article in Variety. I'll put it up on screen, and there's a video.
There's a video I put a link to that kind of explains it right off the bat.
Yeah. But let's get to this. Streaming movies not a priority at Paramount Skydance. I'm gonna go to the video because it clearly lays the topic out, so we can watch this. It's from, I believe it's from Fox News.
Fox Business, yeah.
Fox Business. It's an 8-minute clip. We'll watch. How much should I watch?
You only have to
now?
see the first. It starts right away, so you can stop it whenever.
The first what? What'd you say?
It gets right into it, right from the.
All right.
from the
Well, let's watch this and react because I know I have thoughts. I know you will too. Let's go. Here we go.
Fox Business Alert: streaming could finally be taking a back seat to the silver screen. Newly merged Paramount Skydance, falling a teeny bit today, but they have unveiled plans to boost film production. CEO David Ellison yesterday reiterated that original streaming movies will, quote, not be a priority, and the entertainment giant will be focusing more on theatrical releases. Ellison also telling reporters during a press conference that the company is raising its production output to 20 films per year compared to the previous slate of just 8 films. Yeah, there's a new sheriff in town. at Paramount Skydance. Shares of the new company, and the ticker changed to PSKY. I mean, they've been jumping all over the place, but the 2-day chart is very impressive. The week-to-date chart, this stock has jumped 38%. And here's the kicker. During his company's earning call on Monday, my next guest predicted that Paramount would ramp up its release slate after the merger. Joining me now, AMC Entertainment CEO and President Adam Aron. I don't know, Adam.
That's the guy that when you go to see the Investor Connect movies says, "Thank you for being here for the Investor Connect screening. We're happy to have you join our AMC." Anyways. Let's see what he has to say first, and then we're going to get to your thoughts.
Was this psychic timing on your behalf? I mean, David Ellison just took the helm of Paramount. Had you been conversing with him about his pretty bold plan?
Well, we certainly are in touch with Paramount every week as a company. Look, we had great appreciation for the prior regime at Paramount, but we've thought for a long time that Paramount in David Ellison's hands would be very good for exhibition, very good for AMC. We thought they would make more movies, and sure enough, it's nice when you make a prediction and a few hours later it turns out to be true.
Okay.
Well, I have a couple quick thoughts, and we'll actually link that video in this in the chat and this clip. I have two thoughts on it. One, finally, because there's a term called streaming movie. That's not a compliment. Oh. When I've seen a movie at the theater and I'll say, well, that's a streaming movie, it's not a good thing. We used to say, if you remember, direct to DVD or direct to video. That wasn't a good thing. It's not good enough for the theater. So right. I like their thoughts on that. And what movies are, and what they finally are recognizing is a theatrical release increases the value of the movie, so that when it comes to streaming, it feels like something special rather than being thrown on streaming 3 or 4 weeks after being in theaters. You're training audiences to wait and hold out and not go to the theater. And there was a perfectly good business model that existed years ago. It's in theaters, and then it would be pay-per-view, then DVD, and then maybe a year more later on like HBO cable, whatever, it doesn't matter. They were making bank, and even small little indie movies on that business model did well. And think of your movie. I've said this. I wrote 4 editions of a book called The Ultimate Film Festival Survival Guide. In that book, one piece of advice, I'll end on this. You have to do everything you can to increase the value of your film. Rob, you know that. You put William Shatner in your movie, it's worth more money. What can you do? A good review boosts the value of the movie, and a theatrical release means something. Will other studios follow suit? And what does this all mean? Your thoughts, panel.
Well, Chris, I mean, it's been proven. They've done the statistics are, if a film comes out theatrically, it's been given a sort of a blessing by the world. The theaters, the world, the box office. It legitimizes what a movie is. And if rightly or wrongly, I mean, that's our culture. If a movie's never gone theatrical, it's a direct-to-video film. And coming out of that realm and having made a direct-to-video movie that actually debuted theatrically, I've had that conversation. I had an ex-girlfriend who'd a film producer, and she used to say, your horror movies, it's not a real movie because it didn't come out theatrically. I'm like, well, it played in film festivals and things like that. And we would have this semantics argument. I mean, a movie's a movie. But really in our world, I think the problem is the very reason for making a direct to streaming movie is in itself fraudulent. Because if you're making a movie direct to streaming, there's really no risk involved. It doesn't matter if the movie's good or bad, the streamer's going to put it up anyway. And yeah, they want to make good movies, but philosophically, if you're trying to make a film that's going to play theatrically for an audience, you better think about it. You better make it worthy of an audience rolling out of their house going to a theater and spending money with the family to see it. And that's in the back of everyone's mind, including the company that's giving you the money to make the movie. But when you're a streamer, like they'll spend money willy-nilly. Like how did the Russo brothers, who made 4 Marvel movies that grossed billions of dollars, how did they end up having Netflix give them $230 million to make The Gray Man and then $300 million to make The Electric State? $500 million for 2 movies that neither one of them was going to get a theatrical release. Why? Where's the economic model for that? What?
Yeah, they gave David Fincher $200 million, right, for the Once Upon a Time sequel, right? So I don't know what. I don't understand their economics. Like I don't get how they make money, to be honest with you, because
they don't.
Because when you drop a movie on streaming, it doesn't have to prove anything. There's not even a metric. There's not even a metric for it. So you're just throwing money away just to
views, but you have to be insane with the views for like the K-pop Demon Hunters, the 4th most watched thing ever on Netflix. But when the hell did you ever do that?
They don't make more money. They don't make more money because of it. The question is, did K-pop Demon Hunters make more people subscribe to Netflix? And I would say no.
But what's it getting? A theatrical release with the sing-along, because that's like you said, the element
right.
of
But that's
legitimacy.
that's only for like a day.
Yeah, but you're thinking of it backwards. It's not that K-pop Demon Hunters brought in subscribers; it kept existing subscribers. I mean, because I think it's like I want to say 100 billion they make every month, and just in subscriptions, you take half of that and put it to technology, and the other half you put it to creative. That's how it's being done. And
you know, and then think about it. You're finding IP in the same time, because K-pop Demon Hunters is about to be an enormous IP over the next. You know, it's going to be huge. I mean, the sing along is one thing. They're going to be making sequels. They're going to be selling merch, and Netflix owns all of that. Apparently,
live action.
Sony
they already have plans for all of that.
Yeah, there are 2 planned sequels.
A huge franchise. I'm wondering if like all of this is being put in place in order to rein in movie budgets. You know, because you said like I'm going to give you $200 million, $300 million to do these projects when they're not seeing any return on that. So it's like we'll give you this money to make a movie, but it has to be movie worthy. It has to be good, because how many times we gone to the movies and thought, yeah, this movie wasn't very good. It was a very mid movie. And that's pretty much almost everything that we've been seeing at the theater, with the exception of, you know, those original gems that you see, like F1, you know, and Godzilla -1 is like a really good example of like an excellent movie that made tons of money that people want to see more of. That was made on, you know, an efficient budget. And so like, I'm wondering if that's the thing, like, we'll give you the money, but it has to be a quality movie, you know, or we'll give you this to start with and see how it goes. I'm really wondering if that's where they're taking this. But at the same time, it's like 20 movies a year from Paramount is quite a bit, when I think like their current output haven't been, you know, hits when it comes to at the theater.
By the way, there are 2 planned sequels to K-pop Demon Hunters. It's coming to theaters. They've added screenings, and a live action version is also being planned. And I saw recently that Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, it's coming to theaters first. It's coming to theaters.
I just saw that.
And then streaming on Netflix. Netflix has to get behind theatrical. I don't know what it'll take. I know from their standpoint, they don't get much out of it, but my God, they've made some good movies, All Quiet on the Western Front, that are theatrical worthy. And I'm fortunate to have seen All Quiet in a theater.
But that was a theatrical movie in Europe, and they acquired that.
Right.
But you know what's interesting, Chris? If you look at Apple, for instance, F1 was an Apple production, and they released F1 through Warner Brothers, and they're going to clear at least 600 million worldwide when all is said and done. So if they just put it on their streaming service, they would have received no return, but they covered its production cost. So, and then they also gave it's $600 million. People still talking $1 billion numbers, but $600 million is nothing to sneeze at for a worldwide feature film. And then A24 is putting out Apple's Highest to Lowest, the new Spike Lee movie, which came out this past weekend with Denzel Washington. It only has a 2-week theatrical window before it goes streaming. But it's interesting that Apple is trying different distributors, I guess. I don't know why they wouldn't stick with Warner Brothers, but so at least they understand that why would you make a movie and not make your costs back when you can actually release it theatrically and cover your costs, and then you're going to put it on your streaming service because you own it, and that recognition only gets your streaming service more people to come and subscribe.
Right.
But the thing is, the cost, the idea of cost back, it comes back next month with its subscription revenue. And so,
Well, yeah, because even
I mean, the thing is, Netflix is probably the anomaly because it is the king of the hill. It is the one that, you know, that brings in the most money consistently. Their subscriber base is growing compared to all the other streamers. And so they're the ones who kind of just have this ability to sit on a stack of cash, dole a portion out of it every month to make a movie, and then just have it replenished again next month when subscriber revenues come in.
But it is kind of weird to me that Netflix will get a guy like David Fincher, have a movie starring Brad Pitt, have it be the sequel to one of Tarantino's most successful films, and it not go to theatrical. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, for it to go straight to streaming is...
I know.
I don't understand that.
The word they told me was it cannibalizes, theatrical cannibalizes subscribers. And that's why they don't do it.
I don't believe that.
I don't either.
That's what I mean. I've talked to a few filmmakers who have made films for Netflix, and that's what they've all told me.
It's the exclusivity.
Granted, that was 3 years ago.
It's the exclusivity of Netflix. It's here. It's on Netflix. If you want to watch it, you got to come to us. You can't see it in theaters. It's on Netflix, which means you got to subscribe to Netflix. You got to watch it on Netflix. That's that. It keeps it right there in front of
Right, because if someone watches it in the theater and is not a subscriber of Netflix, that cannibalizes the subscriber base.
Yeah, but all big movies in theaters always do better on streaming if they're theatrical.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even things on streaming right now that people talk about, it's like there's tons of stuff on streaming. How am I just supposed to stumble across this one movie that is new on streaming? Like there's tons of stuff. There's so many options on Netflix, and you have to have word of mouth in order for it to be huge. I don't understand. I'm with Robert. Like, I don't understand why put it on a streaming service and not release it in theaters unless the quality just isn't there and it's a streaming movie.
Like, if it's a movie like Happy Gilmore 2, I could see why it went straight to Netflix, right?
Yeah, stuff like that. It's fine, straight to Netflix. Most of Sandler's projects, honestly, nowadays are straight to Netflix stuff as far as the quality. But you have A1, it's yes, absolutely release that theatrically. It was an amazing movie.
Like in Amazon when they did Roadhouse, and he got all upset that they didn't have a theatrical release. Originally, it came out that we'll give you a bigger budget, but it's streaming only, or we'll give you a smaller budget and it's theater. And he picked the bigger budget for streaming only, and then at the end he got all upset that so clearly budget and intention. They think about it at least on that end of it.
Yeah. Let's not forget, when you do a theatrical, you have to advertise it, which is something you don't necessarily have to do on the premium platform.
Right.
And this is the first Tarantino film that's not going theatrical, which is crazy. I know it's Fincher directing, but Tarantino wrote the script. So but I think it's one of his first movies to not go theatrical, right?
Well, scripts that he's written that other people have done. I mean, that's kind of the category for that. Because I don't think Tarantino is going to say, "Hey, here's my last movie. Let's go straight to streaming with it."
Yeah, he does not consider it.
Yeah. Well, I saw that interview with him where he was talking about the sequel to Once Upon a Time. Honestly, I don't know anymore. Like, I would think that he wouldn't do that, but if they offered him a really good deal, who knows?
Hey, I made a promise a long time ago that we would never talk about Snow White again.
Oh no,
and Rachel Zegler, and I'm sticking to that promise because Gal Gadot, she's in the news and she talks about the failure of Snow White. Before we go to that news story, I think it's important we are reminded of her performance from Snow White. So let's take a look at this quick video here.
Oh,
it's very
no.
short. It's very short.
Oh no.
Take a bite, Snow White. I have immortal longings in me. Go on. Speak up! Pies are luxuries. They don't need luxuries. It confuses them. I don't remember you being this opinionated. When you're the fairest of them all. Snow White, get out of my way. Remove his coat and bind his gates to the breeze. Remove his coat and bind his boots to the freezing gates. Remove his coat and boots and bind him to the gates to freeze. In fact, I find it quite amusing telling me to play nice. In fact, I find it quite amusing for them to telling me to play nice.
I don't know what's worse, the real Gal Gadot or this impression.
It's scary how accurate that was.
It is very accurate. When I've seen her do Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Kal-El, no.
There's this guy that I watch on Instagram that does an amazing impersonation of Gal Gadot. That's all he does. It's just like her, but it's hilarious. But it's her going over scripts and not like her performing. It's hilarious.
Well, let's take a look on at this story.
Well, at least she's pretty.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. I know.
This is from The Wrap. If you would, Badger, let's take a look at this story. She's talking about it. So let's hear what she has to say.
Gal Gadot says Hollywood pressure to speak against Israel affected Snow White's box office. Gal Gadot opened up about the disappointing reception to Disney's live-action Snow White remake, telling interviewers in Israel that she had been confident the project was going to be a huge success. Instead, she admitted real-world events and political pressures overshadowed the film. What's happening in all kinds of industries and also in Hollywood is that there's a lot of pressure on celebrities to bring up things against Israel, Gadot explained, speaking to a group of amateur journalists on the autism spectrum. Gadot reflected on both the film's struggles and her personal experience working on it. She described her time with co-star Rachel Zegler as joyful, saying that the two shared a lot of laughter on set, but she acknowledged that controversy surrounding Zegler, who posted "and always remember Free Palestine" on social media after thanking fans for supporting the film's trailer, compounded difficulties for the movie's release. Gadot, who served in the IDF, noted, "You can always explain and try to give people in the world a context about what's happening in Israel and what the reality is, but in the end, people decide for themselves." Ultimately, Gadot said she was disappointed that the movie was greatly affected by that and didn't do well at the box office. In addition to its poor performance, Snow White faced international pushback, even being banned in Lebanon. Despite the setback, Gadot maintained a measured outlook. People will make their own judgments, she stressed, but the weight of global politics undeniably left its mark on the fairy tale remake.
Now, knowing that, of course, we'll never talk about this topic again, what are your guys' thoughts on her comments?
Cope. Pure cope.
Well,
I still blame Rachel.
I don't know if I blame her for it, but also I don't like this politically charged environment. I don't want to know a celebrity's take on a political situation. I'd rather hear from other people. There's another story out there. We're not going to talk about it, or we're not going to show the story about Mark Hamill talking again about Trump and leaving the country. Can they just stay focused and talk about the work? And what are people waiting to hear the opinion of what a celebrity thinks on a topic just because it's in the news? There was a Superman premiere where people were asked about it's an immigration story. You know, can we just talk about the work and the movie?
To her point, though, remember Sabra was changed from being an Israeli superhero to just being some generic thing in Brave New World, and then Thing's girlfriend was supposed to be, and this is again but it was on a comic book movie thing where she was supposed to be like a female rabbi, or there's a whole element that they cut out of the movie because it is a hot button issue. So
well, he's Jewish though. Ben Grimm is Jewish. It's
to
in
be
the
sure,
movie.
but
And
could you
those
tell?
scenes were in a synagogue. They were being Jewish in the movie. It's not like
There's
they
a
were
lot
hiding.
apparently cut out, right?
I
It could
guess
have been
it's
more.
it's very divisive in entertainment to say you have to fall on one side of an issue or another, or
But
your
that's not
comment
us,
in that-
Chris. That's we don't care about that. We don't care what
Agreed.
side of the aisle you fall on. I don't even think regular audiences care. I think the pressure that Gal Gadot is talking about is pressure coming from the inside of her own circles within Hollywood itself. I don't think she's talking about, oh, the audience didn't go and watch the movie because celebrities. She later said, as she, you know, I don't know if you got the when she clarified her statement. She stated, yeah, people were stressing me out about this. And so she's basically projecting at this point when she's saying celebrities were being pressured. Celebrities weren't being pressured. You were being pressured because, you know, she's a member of the IDF, you know, she's Israeli. That's her, like, you know, that's her background. And so she probably felt some sort of way within her own, you know, Hollywood circles that everybody was stressing her out. Well, why don't you say something about what's going on with Palestine and Israel? And she didn't want to do it. And she kept hearing about it. You know, she got death threats. She had all kinds of stuff going on in her life. And so she's probably just saying, look, this is what I was dealing with. And all of that, like, kind of clouded her judgment as to really looking at the problems, which is just Rachel Zegler. Right?
Well, here's what made it difficult for Gal.
Let's get to the point here, right? That's not why Snow White failed.
No.
Right? It didn't fail because of anything Jewish, okay? Like, it failed because of one reason. And
Is
we
this
all
the
know who
gay
that
Snow
one
White?
reason is.
I'll also say that people probably are tired of Disney remakes, especially when they changed the Disney movie into something that isn't the original movie, and they were probably not liking these CGI doors. I think that also.
Oh yeah,
played
no,
part.
there were lots of reasons, but there was one main reason, and then just an avalanche of other things that came after that, right?
Yeah, there were plenty of things that caused Snow White to fail. Tons of them. We all know all of the reasons why Snow White failed, and I think that Gal Gadot is speaking on what she dealt with, not necessarily like this is the only reason that Snow White failed. Because, like, if you remember during when Snow White was she received like some award around that time that Snow White was about to release. She received an award and she got pushed back from that, and then she received like a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she had protesters there. Disney apparently were afraid of protesters, which is why they shut down a lot of the premieres in the UK. At least that's what their reasoning was. So she's looking at it from her point of view. I'm sure that she knows all of the controversies. I mean, I think that she would know all of the controversies surrounding the Snow White movie, but from her point of view, I think that that's what she specifically was dealing with, and that's what she's coming at from that perspective.
But here's the difference. Rachel Zegler is expressing an opinion, a political opinion. Gal Gadot, she is Israeli. She can't change that. No matter what she will do, she'll get criticized for being the person that she is, and that to me is the saddest part of this story. Is that
military service is also mandatory there unless you have a medical deferment. So it's not like she grew. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
She had to.
It is,
right,
but they
but
don't
it's like
care. People-
saying, you know, she can't change the fact that she's Israeli.
Mhm.
While
let
Rachel
me
can express her own opinion.
Let me
Like,
play a
I mean,
short.
who would expect somebody to like come out against their country? You know, it's like that's wild to me, man. Like, you would never come out against your own people, you know, to, you know, promote a movie or whatever. That would be insane.
I don't know. Have you been to a college campus lately? I mean,
and Rachel Zegler did. Like, she put her political opinion out there as promotion underneath her promotion for Snow White. You know, so she did that. Gal Gadot never did that, and I think that because Rachel did it, I think she probably did feel pressure to do that, but she never did it. So, and she's got attacked a lot during Snow White.
Let me lighten the mood a bit with this short video from Ryan Long Comedy. It's titled "Actor Not Sure If He's Supposed to Support Israel or Palestine." So it's let's check this out.
It's been a few days now. I still haven't weighed in on Israel-Palestine. I honestly don't know who to post. Usually it's easy. BLM, bang. Ukraine, bang. Open, bang. Hey, did you do your Israel-Palestine post yet? I've never missed a stand. So who'd you go with? I look at my phone, I see a lot of Republicans supporting Israel. So I go, maybe stay away from that. Then I see a lot of the people we've been calling Nazis supporting Palestine. But then get this, the people that we've been calling them Nazis with are happy Israel's getting attacked. Riddle me that. But there really is no easy answer here. Did you do your Israel-Palestine post yet?
No.
What does your manager think of that?
I'm retired.
Oh, you don't have representation right now? Obviously, I was on the front lines of getting mad at the anti-Semitism stuff. Everyone was thanking me for standing up for the Jewish community. So naturally, I'm seeing this happen. I go, okay, we're back with the Jews again. I see Kylie Jenner post for Israel. I think, okay, the word's in. Then boom, she's getting killed on every angle. So it's not Israel. So I start doing a bit more research. I'm seeing queers for Palestine. And generally, you want to be on the side of the queers. If you look at the things, you're not obviously posting with the queers. And she's getting fired from her job. The whole reason I'm posting this is to get in better standing with my job. And by the way, I started to see that your silence is noted post popping up. So we're running out of fucking time. You had to pick it, what you say.
I would stay out of it, like I told you.
But if you kind of have to choose, which is sort of what a situation I feel like I find myself in. But you don't understand. I got to post to support one of them. I know to you, it might be like, oh, who cares what he thinks? A buddy of mine booked a Geico commercial from his Ukraine TikTok. So it happens. Feels like we like decolonizing. What is decolonizing? Is that just like killing the people?
Difficult situation.
That's literally what I was saying, man. Because normally it's pretty easy.
I don't know what the answer is.
This one's, I just want to post one of the flags and sort of be done with it. It's tougher than you think. I'm getting yelled at if I post Palestine. I'm getting yelled at if I post Israel. I'm starting to feel like, if anything, I'm the victim here. I'm looking on the internet. I see Jews for Palestine. I kid you not. Also, I'm watching the parades. We're talking Times Square. Between me and you, when I see a bunch of brown people having a parade, I think it's a pretty safe bet to be on their side. Never failed me before. I mean, people are probably texting each other right now, wondering where my statement is. Israel, though, probably, right? Yeah. For me, it's a little more complicated as a Gentile, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if I look at who's getting censored, that's a good place to look. We follow the YouTube warnings. And then I'm looking at UN women. I'm thinking, you know, follow the SNIZ. Whatever the women say is usually pretty good. They're just posting random shit that has nothing to do with it. Trans lesbians or lesbians. Can I just go with that? It's like a random blanket post. It'd be like, hey, lesbos, just so you know, lesbos with dongs are still lesbos. Stop avoiding the dong lesbos. I can't. I feel like it's the wrong move. Are you going Israel or Palestine, you thinking?
No, you're gonna.
Oldest trick in the book, my friend. I wish I could do the same. Okay, so like if Native people in America took down some girls at Coachella, I'd probably be like with the natives against me, right? Like that seems right. I can talk to my representation for you if you're.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, that was pretty much the end of that. Ryan Long does great sketches and bits.
That was amazing.
I mean, look, it shows you, is that what goes through actors' heads of like,
Yeah, I believe
do
it.
I have to take a stance?
Not Denzel Washington.
No, but see, that's the thing is like, yeah,
Hey
you're
man,
right.
it's not as easy as putting a black square on your Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not as
It's
easy
been like
as
this
that.
for a long time. When I was 16, I went into, because I've remembered this moment, I went into a liquor store, and as I was paying, the guy was like, you look Middle Eastern, are you Israeli, are you Palestinian? I just went, which of those two did you want me to be? I laughed and I left.
Which will get me the discount.
Yes, which will not get me assaulted. Yes.
That's watch the gay discount episode of what's that Korean that show?
Oh
Canada.
For your
Simu Liu came from it.
Is it For Your Convenience? I forget the name.
Yeah, Kim's Convenience.
Like Kim's Convenience.
The gay discount episode. Watch that episode. Anyways, look, I feel bad for Gal Gadot. I don't think the failure of that movie is because of her or her politics. I think really it was a mess from the beginning. Bad script, bad concept.
Yeah.
Digital dwarves and Rachel Zegler didn't help. So, any final thoughts on this? We'll go to Soups, and then I have something very special to share for Rob.
I will say to her credit, and you know, I still think she's wrong, but the only time Rachel Zegler was silenced is when she brought up Israel.
Yep.
Because Disney wasn't going to silence her until she brought up Israel. So
yep, you're right.
My final comment is Hollywood not learning the lesson. If they think Snow White failed because of politics, then they haven't learned the lesson.
Yeah.
Snow White failed because it was a bad movie, and they need to start making good movies again.
Okay. Let's go to Soups right here.
Eric Stratton for 777. RMB. You don't make real movies. She was my girlfriend. Checks out. Yeah. I can't believe she said that to you, Robert. So uncouth.
Oh, well, she did make real movies, though.
Oh, she was.
I mean, she wasn't wrong in a certain sense, and I love her to death. Still, she's great.
Well, that's indie movies are real movies.
I mean, you make a movie, you can't necessarily always you don't know where it's going to wind up when you make it. When you're making it, though, you think it's going to be an Academy Award winning film. Everybody thinks that about their movie.
Yeah,
except Adam Sandler.
It's one of our film threat mods. Just another Dave. If you're going with this in regards to the lore discussion, if you're going to play in someone else's sandbox, you have to respect the rules and lore. Respect the world building. Chris, Alan, watch the YAF panel, and you too, and Drinker. It was awesome. It was great.
They're great.
It was great.
Awesome.
That was a fun.
Awesome is better
panel.
than great, Alan.
You can find that.
I watched it. It was good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to have an audience of young people in college hungry to learn about the industry. Real quick, I want to share this video. You know, we've been busy. Rob's been busy. Elaine, you've been busy. We're so happy to have you all back. Steph, the whole reuniting the gang here. I want to share this video that dropped, and it's just Captain Kirk is the most interesting man in the world. as Star Trek on streaming on Paramount Plus is, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do, but I like this. I wanted to share.
They don't know either, Chris.
Yes, but here we go.
Risk is our business. He once time traveled using slingshot physics and parallel parked in 1986 San Francisco.
He convinced a Vulcan to take a risk with logic.
He taught the Ferengi the first acquisition. Never bet against Kirk.
The Kobayashi Maru simulation has a Kirk setting. It's unwinnable for the computer. He has been court-martialed 3 times and received a standing ovation every time. He once screamed a man's name so loud, the entire quadrant heard it. He made peace with the Romulans, the Klingons, and his ex, in that order. He doesn't need a first contact protocol. He's on a first-name basis with the entire quadrant. He calls it improvising. The Starfleet manual calls it chapters 7 through 12. When he enters a room, the odds of both a fistfight and a romance breaking out increase by 500%.
The prime directive is more of a prime suggestion in his logbook. Romulans are not suspicious of him. They are suspicious of a universe that could produce him.
Tribbles purr a different tune when he enters the room. It's respect.
Klingons don't sing battle songs about him. They sing surprisingly tender love ballads.
He is the most interesting man in the galaxy.
I don't always follow the prime directive, but when I do, it's by accident. Stay bold, my friends.
And then Kirk on Rogan.
Yeah.
What's up
Joe
with
Rogan.
that?
Yeah.
I
Let me
would
ask
love
you
to see
something.
that.
Do you ever get a Gorn into a jujitsu chokehold? Did you try to get the lock in? Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh my God.
Gorn down.
I just want to share that. I've seen a lot of fun videos like that. They're entertaining. I don't know.
Now we just need Captain Kirk to forgive Nerdrotic.
Yeah, well, that's all of it.
Ain't happening.
I like all the baby videos, Chris. The AI baby videos when they interview the babies about their lives.
Oh, those are good. I like
babies
those.
are
They are
awesome.
good.
By the way,
babies
make
are-
Starfleet hot again. That's all I can.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's based.
there's no soups or questions, so we're gonna leave it there. Hey everyone, tell us what's going on with your channel. What's up? We'll start with Elaine.
Hey, had a great time as always. You could find me here on YouTube at Nerd Cookies. I chat about sci-fi, fantasy, news, theories, and lore. I've got a new video coming out about Josh Brolin's latest review comment about Dune Part 3, so check it out. Thanks again.
All right.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. Nightcaps Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, and then the DA's office on Sunday evenings, and videos every day. Thanks once again, Chris, Alan. See y'all next time.
That's right.
Staff, My Nerdy Home. I have 3 videos coming out, finally covering Sydney Sweeney. I did make a video about Gal Gadot, and I'll be streaming tomorrow and Wednesday. TikTok and Nerdy News.
I'm Rob Burnett over from the Burnett Work on YouTube. Find me all day, all night, talking about something to do with something.
And we lost Dante, but subscribe to Verbal Riots. There you go.
Yeah, Badgercast. I think links will be dropped. We can talk about Peacemaker season 2. All the things. Fallout New. It's gonna be great.
Cool. And we will redirect to Badger's show after this. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Love the conversation. We'll be back next week. Alan, do you have any? Oh, wait, Dante's back.
Oh, yeah.
Dante, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Rumble, YouTube, and X, and look out for the show on Thursday.
All right, cool.
6 p.m.
Yeah, and I made a video about me stuck in a dryer. Check that one out.
On OnlyFans?
That's great. Okay. All right. We'll be back next week, everyone. Alan?
Let's get out of here.